today's lesson is going to be about absolute value. And absolute value means a value's distance from zero. So I've got a couple of examples here. I've got -3 and +3. Both -3 and +3 are 1, 2, 3 units from 0. And -3 is 1, 2, 3 units from 0. So the absolute value of -3 is equal to 3, and the absolute value of 3 is also equal to 3. By the way, those two bars that I wrote, the vertical bars, those are the absolute value symbol. And anything that's inside that symbol is considered a group or a parenthesis. So when you're simplifying, you want to make sure you simplify the inside of those groups first before you simplify the rest. Remember, in order of operations, groups was first. But remember, with absolute value, it is a distance. So it basically changes from a negative to a positive, and if it's already positive, it stays positive because we're talking about a distance. Okay, so here we have example 1. Example 1 is the absolute value of -7 plus 4 minus the absolute value of -11 plus 3. So we need to work with the group here first that has an operation inside. So -7 plus 4 is -3. So this simplifies into the absolute value of -3. And everything else comes down. We're just going to rewrite minus the absolute value of -11 plus the absolute value of 3. So now we need to simplify each of these absolute values. The distance -3 is from 0 is 3. Bring down the minus sign. The distance -11 is from 0 is 11. Plus the distance 3 is from 0 is 3. So we get 3 minus 11 plus 3, and then we simplify going left to right. So 3 minus 11 is -8. Plus 3, -8 plus 3 is a -5. So there's our solution. So that means -7 plus the absolute value, the absolute value of -7 plus 4 minus the absolute value of -11 plus the absolute value of 3 is equal to -5. Okay, so here we have example 2. Example 2 is the negative absolute value of -2/3 plus 8/3 plus the absolute value of -13 minus the absolute value of -4. So first we need to work inside the group. So we're going to bring down the minus sign. And we're going to say the absolute value, -2/3 plus 8/3 is I made a mistake there. It's positive 6/3. So we get the absolute value of 6/3. And we're going to bring everything else down. So plus the absolute value of -13 minus the absolute value of -4. And now we still need to simplify inside this absolute value because I have division. 6/3 is actually 2. So this is negative absolute value of 2 plus the absolute value of -13 minus the absolute value of -4. And now we simplify. So I've got a negative. We're going to keep that there. Now if I cover up the negative, the absolute value of 2 is just 2. So this is a very interesting concept here. If there's a negative outside of the absolute value, it makes our answer negative. So if you ever have a negative outside of the absolute value, while the inside is going to come down as a positive, don't forget to bring down your negative because it's going to make the overall answer here negative. Okay, so let's move on with the rest of this. So we're going to say plus, and then the absolute value of -13 is going to be 13 minus absolute value of -4 is a positive 4. But notice there was a minus on the outside, so it made this a negative. So now we're going to have -2 plus 13 minus 4. -2 plus 13 is going to be 11 minus 4, which is 7. And that is our solution. I hope you enjoyed the lesson on absolute value. If you guys have any questions, please send me a message in Schoology or send me a text. Have a great day.